Hey guys, it's me, Owen here, back with another video. Today I'll be showing you guys some of the best guns in the game, or my favorite guns slash some of the best guns in the game top tier list. So, just make sure that the guns in this list vary on what situation you're in. Like shotguns are good for close range, and snipers are good for long range. Just keep that in mind. And yeah, let's get on to our first gun at number 5. At number 5, we got the Lynx Rifle. This gun, it's a pretty decent gun for starters slash noobs. It does 80 headshot damage, and it does 40 body damage. That's pretty decent for a cheap gun. It also, yeah, it's pretty good for medium slash like I guess all ranges. It's a pretty decent gun. It's good for long, close range if you're good aim, and yeah, and extreme long ranges. Probably not the best, but still you can kind of use all ranges for this weapon. And it has a slower fire rate, as you can see. So you just got to keep that in mind. It's $1,500, so it's very cheap. You can get it if you're a noob or a new player, and has 4 shots. So not a lot of shots, slower reload time, but it's a pretty good gun for all ranges, decent damage, and yeah. Let's get on to number 4. At number 4, we got the Hartford Rifle, one of the newer guns. It's a pretty decent gun. I like it. I use it. I use it sometimes. It does 90 headshot damage and 75 body. It's a very tanky gun. It only has 1 shot though, so make sure you're a good aim with this gun. It's good for medium and long ranges. Medium if you're a really good aim, but I would recommend it for longer ranges, I guess, most of the time, but you can quick scope with this thing. But it has a slower fire rate, of course. 1 shot, you gotta reload it. Yeah, it's kind of like the sharpest rifle. It's 12,000 dollarinos, so make sure you got a juicy amount of money in the bank before you get this weapon. And yeah, it's a pretty decent gun. At number 3, we got it, the Winchester, the classic Wild West gun. 60 headshot damage. It's a pretty good, pretty decent headshot damage ratio for a fast firing gun, and 30 body damage. It's pretty good for body damage. 8 shots, of course, and it's good for close and medium range. More of a medium range gun, but if you're on horseback, it's a pretty good gun for close range. Just make sure you hit your shots. And yeah, it has a decent fire rate, as you can see. And yeah, it's a decent gun, and it comes up about $7,200. So make sure you have, I guess, a lot of money before you buy this gun, because it's a pretty expensive gun. So yeah. At number 2, we got the Sharps Rifle, probably one of the coolest guns in the game. It's one of the only scoped, actually the only scoped zoomable sniper in the game. It does 150 headshot damage. 150. That's a lot. You only have 100 health as a player, so it's more than a 1 shot to your head. 75 body, that's enough to weaken your opponent, and you can rush in, but it depends your playstyle. Only 1 shot, so keep that in mind. It's very good for long range. It is meant for long range, so make sure you use this gun in long range. It's not necessarily the best gun for close range, but if you're a good quick scoper, I guess you can attempt to use it close range. It's for how much it is. It's not that expensive for how much it is, I guess. It's only 4,500. It's pretty expensive for a new player, but it's pretty good for, I guess, the level of skill you can use with this gun. And yeah, only 1 shot. So yeah. At number 1 for best primary weapons in the game, we're gonna go with the Mule Shotgun. This gun wasn't as good as it was before the Fort update. They made it really, really, really good in this update. So if I guess you're in a newer updated version of the game, like a couple updates later, this gun might not be as good, but now it is actually incredibly good. It's like a one-shot, like close range, I guess. If you're like right here, if there's someone like right here, and you aim for the head, it's a one-shot. They're not gonna recover from that. And it's 65 damage, I guess same range to the chest. But you gotta hit all your pellets on the enemy, so keep that in mind. It varies per range, but it's a really nice gun for close range, and most of the time, most of the battles are close range in this game. Has 2 shots, fast fire rate, but only 2 shots, so you gotta reload most of the time. It's very nice. Probably the best gun for close range in this game. So yeah, but you can also do medium range. Like you see the little tree over there. I can hit that and do some damage to it, which is surprising because it's a shotgun, but it has decent range. And yeah, it's only $4,000, so it's pretty cheap for such a good gun. Now it is. Uh, yeah, it's a pretty good gun. And now we're gonna move on to the revolvers slash pistols. And yeah, let's start off with number 3. At number 3, we got the Navy pistol. Probably one of the coolest revolvers, but most expensive revolvers in the game. It's a pretty decent gun. Pretty decent. Decent fire rate. It does 60 headshot damage. It's a lot for a revolver, and 30 body damage. That's pretty impressive for a revolver, like I said. And it only has 6 shots. I mean, it's a 6 shooter, of course. And it's good for a close range if you're a good aim. Also good for medium, but the accuracy is not the best. I mean, if you're a good shot, you can hit some stuff. Like, I'm not the best at aiming long range with this gun. And it's 3,200, so it's a pretty expensive revolver, but if you're a good aim, I feel like it's worth it for you to use this gun in all situations, but not the best sniper, not the best close quarters gun, especially a revolver. Okay. At number 2, we got the newest gun they've added to the game, the Volcanic Revolver. This gun is probably one of the most favorite revolvers of some players, probably most players at this point. It does 60 headshot damage and 30 body shot damage. It is a pretty damn powerful gun. Basically, same as the Navy, but it has 8 shots. It's good for close and medium range. Not the best for long, but it's a pretty dang good gun. 8 shots, and you can also fan it. It doesn't have the fastest fan speed, but it is really, really nice. If you're, I guess, at this sort of range, you can just fan it. Gun's kind of in the way, but you can fan it, do a lot of damage to the opponents. And it's 80 bucks, but the thing is, it drops on death. That's probably the only reason why I don't use this is because it drops on death. 80 bucks, but it drops on death, and you can only get it in these 4 fort areas. So yeah, make sure you know, if you're at a fort, use this gun. It's pretty dang good. Okay, at number 1, we got the Peacekeeper Revolver. In my opinion, this is probably one of the best revolvers in the game. It's very similar to the Lemat, but it's more accurate than the Lemat. It's more accurate than the Lemat. Uh, but it does 50 headshot damage, which that's pretty good for a revolver. It does 25 body shot damage. That's pretty good. That is pretty good for a revolver, especially you get this gun when you first start off. So this gun is basically free. That's pretty good. But if you sold it, then you can rebuy it. So don't stress about that. Um, 6 shots and it's fannable, of course. It's basically the reason why it's so good, because you can laser people at close range. This gun at close range, easily one of the best guns to do. If you hit all your shots, the enemies are gone, man. The enemies are done for. And you can actually pull off some medium range shots if you're a decent aim. Just not the best for that, but you can do that. So those are some of the best revolvers, and now we're gonna go on to some pretty good other guns that you should definitely try out. One of the guns would be the volcanic rifle. Probably one of the best rifles in the game, but it is like its predecessor, the volcanic pistol. It drops on death, which that's probably the only reason why it's not on the list, but I'm adding in this section, so just, you know, you know, it does 60 headshot damage. That's pretty good for a rifle. 60 headshot damage and 30 body damage. So that's a pretty good gun overall. And it has 10 shots, of course. Slower reload time, but the thing is, this gun is probably the only rifle that's, I guess, fannable. You can fan it. You just gotta spam click your mouse, but it's a fannable gun with a fast fire rate. This gun is devastating close range and medium range. If you're good aim, you can zoom in. And yeah, it's a pretty good gun, but it's 80 bucks, drops on death. That's the only reason why I don't really like it, because I like guns that you have forever, and you know they're not multiple purchased weapons, but use it as you must. And another very awesome weapon is the sawed-off shotgun. The mini sawed-off, I guess, or mini shotgun. Mini mule shotgun, call it whatever you want, but this gun is pretty good. If you're close range, I guess this amount of range, it is a one-shot headshot. But most of the time, you're not going to get in perfect situations, but if you do body shot, it does around 60 damage this range, or probably, yeah, 60 damage this range. So just keep that in mind when you're in a little duel. It's a good weapon, you know, let's say you unload your peacemaker, or peacekeeper, sorry, and then you use your sawed-off shotgun to finish them off. It's a pretty lethal weapon. It's a very good combo weapon, I would say. It only has 2 shots, but its fire rate is pretty good. It's pretty good fire rate for a shotgun, but it only has 2 shots, so you gotta reload it quite a lot. Has a faster, or slower reload time, sorry. And, yeah, I guess a fast fire rate. It's $1,000, so it's really cheap if you're a new player and you just want another good gun with your Peacekeeper or Lemat or whatever you use. Make sure to pick this gun up. It's a good finishing off gun or a good close quarters weapon. Yeah, make sure to use this gun in close quarters situations. It's pretty cheap. And one of the American family favorites, we got the harmonica rifle. The only fully automatic gun in this game aside from the beautiful Gatling gun, but this gun is the mobile death machine of the century. 12 shots, it does 40 headshot damage, pretty good, 20 body damage, but it is very inaccurate. Well, it really depends on the situation. Yeah, it's 12 shots of death, and it's a good close quarters gun if you know how to hit your shots. But you see, if you're bad aim like me, you can't hit the player. They're just too fast. That's the only issue you have most of the time. But it can do some pretty good medium damage, and it's a very nice weapon. It's only $7,000. That's probably the only reason why most players don't have this gun. $7,000 for an automatic death machine. I mean, some players would like that, but me, I'm more of a, I guess, bolt action dude myself. But still, it's a very nice gun. Definitely bring this up. And probably one of the best weapons in the game that I did not mention is the flare gun. This gun is lethal against enemies. This thing can light up the areas of which you're shooting at, and it's devastating. It can blind them too. Like, you can't see through that, man, especially in nighttime situations. It'll just blind them. They won't be able to see nothing. It's a very nice gun, but you gotta buy the ammunition like singly, I guess, like the Gatling gun. So just make sure you get that in the shop. It's only 10 bucks. It's a pretty cheap price if you're a rich boy like not me. I am not rich. I'm poor, probably the poorest person in the game. But it's a very insane gun. Easily the best gun in the game because it can just light up stuff. And who doesn't want to light up stuff, man? It's insane. Seriously, if you want to use a flare gun, I wouldn't recommend it in PvP, but it's good for tactical situations. Those were some of the best guns in the game, or my list at least, and some other family favorites of my friends. This is kind of a group project. Just got the guns, put them together. If you have other favorites, comment them below. If you don't like the guns that I've mentioned, don't dislike the video. Just comment, what you want. Yeah. These are just some of my favorites. It's somewhat opinion based, but these are some of the guns I've been using for many months and possibly years. And yeah, like the video, subscribe if you want. Let's try and get to 2,000 subscribers by before I pass away. And yeah, join the Roblox group. Donate if you want. Have a good day. Thank you, King Teojita, for helping me out, like always. Subscribe to him if he makes a YouTube channel, which would be never. And I will see you guys in the next video.